Hey guys, and welcome back to another blog spotlight. In this spotlight we're going to take a look at Redstone Energy Cells and Redstone Energy Conduits from the Thermal Expansion mod. Now don't mind this over here, this is just RedNet from the My Factory Reloaded mod, just to be able to send a redstone signal to both energy cells in a somewhat clean way, so I don't have redstone running all over the place. So yeah, let's have a look. So basically the difference between these two things is that the redstone energy cells allow you to store energy, whereas the conduits allow you to transfer it. Of course, you can also use the redstone energy cells to transfer the power, but that would be a very expensive way of doing it. So let's have a look here. We have the redstone energy cell over here, which is filled up with 600,000 Minecraft joules. And over here we have one which does not have any Minecraft joules. Okay, so what we want to do now is demonstrate how this works. So we have some conduits on the left side and the right side connecting both cells, and you'll see these have an indicator where they connect to the cells. Now this basically means if it's an in this case it's an output, so the arrow will be pointing outward and it will have an orange bar under it, whereas this is an input and this has a blue bar under it, which with an arrow pointing into the redstone energy cell here. So this one will transfer energy from the full cell to the empty cell, whereas this one will be transferring the power back from the empty cell to the full cell. Now you can also control how much power is being sent and received by the cells. So we have an input which basically tells the cell how fast it can receive energy. In this case it has the maximum setting on, so it will receive 100 Minecraft joules per tick, well, maximum of course, so it can also receive less, where in this case it will receive packets of 100 Minecraft joule per tick as well. However, this one, the empty one, is currently set to output 5 Minecraft joules per tick, whereas this one, so the full one, is set to output 10 Minecraft joules per tick. Now if I enable this, you will see this working. So this one is slowly outputting at 10 Minecraft joules per tick, whereas this one is also outputting but at 5 Minecraft joules per tick. So this one is actually sending less energy than it is receiving, and that means it will be slowly filling up. Oh, it's starting to rain, so let's turn that off. Okay, so another thing you want to keep in mind is that you can change this, of course. So you can use the left mouse button to increment this by 5 microjoules per tick, or decrement it, of course. But you can also use the right mouse button to do it with single units. Now additionally, you can use the shift button in combination with the left mouse button to increment it from the maximum to the minimum. Or you can do the same thing with the right mouse button to increment or decrement by 10 Minecraft joules per tick, so while holding shift. Okay, so that's basically how these work in transferring energy. Now you might have noticed I've been using this lever to turn them on or off. So currently when I've got it set, well, sending a redstone signal, like right now, these cells will not be doing anything, because the redstone control is waiting for it to not receive a redstone signal to start working. Now if I change this one over to the signal required high modus, you will see that it's starting to send energy again. This means it will send energy when it's receiving a redstone signal. So here it will only send one if there's no redstone signal, whereas over here it will send one when there is a redstone signal. Now also you might want to keep in mind that when you disable this, it will ignore any redstone signal and just work. So if I disable it over here as well, you'll see it's receiving energy and still sending it, so it's working now and completely ignoring the redstone signal. So I'm going to turn this back on, so now they should no longer be working, as you can see. Alright, so that's basically how these operate. And keep in mind, these, well, in later versions of the system, these redstone energy conduits do not lose any power efficiency. So they do not have a penalty in length for transferring the power, which used to be the case. but now they don't apparently, so that's very convenient, of course. Now another nice property here is that you can pick them up and they will retain their charge and of course their settings. So if you place this back down, it will still have the same charge. And you might be wondering, well, how do I do this? So I can break these with quite a bit of effort. Like, yeah, there we go. So that does take a while, but you can also shift right click with the crescent hammer or another BuildCraft compatible wrench to instantly pick them up, and the same thing as I've already demonstrated is possible for these cells. So that's basically how you can get rid of these really quickly. So that's very convenient. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I craft these? Well, the crafting recipe for these is somewhat expensive and it does take a bit of effort to make. So let's have a look. First of all, let's have a look at the Redstone Energy Conduit here. This requires you to craft some empty energy conduits and fill them up with liquid redstone. In this case, it's called destabilized redstone, which you basically produce by putting redstone in a magma crucible, and then you have the liquid transposer insert it into an empty energy conduit. Now this can be made by having some electrum ingots surrounding some hardened glass, which yields 4 energy conduits. And the electrum ingots are made by placing, let's see if I can find it here, by placing some gold ingots with silver ingots into an induction smelter, whereas the hardened glass is made by combining 2 obsidian dust with 2 lead dust or ingots, depends, in an induction smelter. So that also produces 2 hardened glass. So that's basically how the conduits are made. Now if we have a look at the energy cell here, you can see that you can construct an energy cell, and do note an empty energy cell, by surrounding a energy cell frame, which is filled up with liquid redstone, with some electrum ingots, which I showed you earlier, some lead ingots, which are fairly straightforward, and a redstone conductance cell, which is crafted by having some redstone and an electrum ingot there. Right, so let's have a look at the energy cell. So basically you need an empty energy cell frame. Again, you have to fill it up with liquid redstone, which is now called destabilized redstone. And you can craft this by having some hardened glass here on the sides, some electrum ingots in the corners, and a diamond in the center. So it's fairly expensive to construct this, but it is certainly worth it if you are going to use a lot of Minecraft tools, seeing as it is much more convenient to work with than the standard BuildCraft pipes for energy. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the spotlight. If you did, please rate and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.